So I talk about how I was able to make about $1 million per month just for my Instagram account alone from posting Instagram Reels. This equaled to about 20 cents earned per view from those videos that I posted. That was about a year and a half ago now. Since then, I implemented the same system on a few clients, and the most recent, they actually had around 3,000 followers to begin with. They were getting very average amount of views per Instagram Reel that anybody can achieve, 1,000 to 3,000 views per video, and they were still able to hit 300,000 their first month and then 600,000 their second month on this system. So in this video, I want you to understand why this is possible, why the mindset shift that we figured out allows us to make this much money from Instagram, and why it actually makes sense, and it is just no-brainer math that you'll understand. And after this video, you'll also have the steps in order to actually do this yourself, and you'll understand how simple this business model actually is. But just to start, I just wanted to show you maybe a few names that you already follow online, like Shelby Sapp, TJR, Tom Cruise. You might have seen these people's videos before. There's quite a few other people as well that understand this system to a certain degree. I don't believe they understand it to this degree where you don't need hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers like these people do to make the same amount of money that these people are actually making. But I just wanted to show you that most people online that are appearing to make a substantial amount of money per month, they usually are doing some form of this system. Now, there are millions of creators. There's millions of people posting online, whether it's just to show their friends and family, or maybe they want to start building their personal brand and expanding their reach by just talking about what they already do on a daily basis on their Instagram. But out of those people, less than 4% of these content creators make 10K per month. Now, when you're becoming somebody with influence or becoming a creator and posting online, I'm sure the income dream is a lot more than 10K per month. Even though 10K per month is already life-changing money for most, still, I would hope if I was going to post or if I was going to start as a new creator to make at least a little bit more than that to live the lifestyle that I'd want to live, right? So why were we able to make way more than that? Why are we able to make so much more income that actually makes this very motivating to actually post online? As you can see here, just so you can see where I came from, I started building a personal brand around my e-commerce businesses back in about 2 years ago now. I started posting. I actually blew up very quickly because people were interested in what I had to say about my business and my lifestyle that I was able to achieve from it at a young age. As you can see here, this one video alone had about 13 million views, which was crazy. Now, when I started posting, blowing up on TikTok and stuff was a lot faster because it was a new platform, but still, I was earning a lot less per view than I was when I was making $1 million a month. So when I first started, I was getting upwards of 30 million views per month. And when I implemented this system, I got it to around $100,000-ish per month, which is still crazy, but something didn't sit right with me because I was getting millions of views from millions of people, but still only getting a few customers per month, which still equaled a substantial amount. But what I'm going to explain to you in a second here, you'll understand why less views and less followers equals more money. So as I continued to do this, I started to understand a little bit better of what type of content to post. Now, instantly, my income increased. This is just a few months later, hit around $230,000 per month with a lot less views already, as you can see here. And then fast forward a little bit further, even less views, and I started making double that again, around $500,000 per month. And then the trend continued. I just got less and less views, talked about the specific things that work with this business model, this system, and my income just increased every single month. 700,000, 760,000, 800,000. And eventually I started to hit my peak where I was getting the least amount of views, So 30 million views per month when I started, and then I ended off at around 3 million views per month when I was hitting around $1 million per month in revenue, which was around $900,000 a month in profit. So since then, I decided to implement this system on a few other creators. I wanted to scale past my own personal brand and create a business that didn't just rely on myself. So I implemented it on other creators, and what I found out through this process was not everybody was able to get the amount of views that I was getting. Obviously, I was able to get millions of views per month, which equal to millions of dollars over time. Now, working with other creators, we quickly realized that these people, they still wanted to make this substantial income from the system, but they didn't have the amount of followers, they didn't have the amount of views that we were able to get for my first initial push with my personal brand. So we had to get very creative. As you can see here, these people only had around 3,000 followers to start. They're getting a very average amount of views per video. Pretty much anybody can achieve this many views per video from Instagram right from the start. You're basically guaranteed that, and we'll cover that in a few seconds here. But they were still able to do $300,000 per month their first month, and then over $600,000 per month their second month. In just 3 months, they generated over $1.5 million from the system, so it really does work. You will understand why in a few minutes here. Just bear with me. So this all made sense, and the real money started flowing once we understood this concept. If you've ever seen 1,000 people in a room, this is what it looks like, okay? 1,000 people. Now, I want you to imagine that these 1,000 people in a room are all there for the exact same reason. They're all there to listen to you speak about your cure to cancer, okay? This is just an example. It'll all make sense. So these 1,000 people are here in this room, all there to listen to you about your cure to cancer because they've all been affected by cancer in some way. By the end of this presentation, if your cure to cancer actually works, do you believe that at least one of these people is willing to pay you thousands of dollars to get access to that cure to cancer? Probably, right? Probably a lot more than just one person, okay? So let's just say that your cure to cancer, your remedy, costs $3,000. One of these people, if they pay you $3,000 to get access to that, you're already making essentially $3 per view, okay? Now, when I talk about these numbers on my social media, most people don't believe it because what we've been told from Instagram's monetization platform or maybe getting a brand deal and stuff like that, usually these people are just getting ripped off by their own audience, right? Everybody has access to thousands of people per day on social media, but we underutilize the amount of people that are actually seeing and listening to us and what we have to say, okay? And on top of it, with our current social media setup, especially on Instagram, which is the easiest and most powerful platform for this, as long as you talk about a specific topic, just like I described in this concept right here, if you're talking about cancer, you're only going to attract people that have been affected by cancer or have had an interest in finding out more about cancer or cancer remedies in the past. So everyone has the ability to attract thousands of people into a digital room, no matter what. And if you have that concept of selling a product or an offer that's worth thousands of dollars, it makes it seem very achievable to make thousands of dollars when you get thousands of views, right? So just for some more context, I collected a few accounts that are fairly new. This one is at 2,800 followers. As you can see here, they're getting thousands of views per video still. This one's at 1,700 followers. As you can see, he's getting close to 10,000 views per video in some of his videos. And just to really show you what's possible, this is a brand new account, 16 followers. They've just started and they already crack just over 100 views per video and then even hit 1,500 views per video on here. So an average of around a few hundred views per video. So if you're posting several times a day, hitting that number of 1,000 people per day is very achievable, right? and especially the best part is these are people that are only interested with what you have to say, okay? Now, how does this system work? I'm sure I've kind of confused you. Yes, I showed you results. Yes, I showed you that anybody can get access to the amount of views to make this type of money. Now, how does this system actually work? So I'm going to start off with building your audience, okay? We build our audience through Instagram Reels, specifically on Instagram because Instagram allows you to get a lot of reach for very little effort. The audience on Instagram is very high quality. Most people in the world have an Instagram account at this point. So you have access to older people, younger people, people that are interested in what you have to say, etc. Okay? And on top of it, Instagram has the best setup as a platform to give your audience access to you. So most platforms, they don't have a very good messaging feature. Instagram has a very good messaging feature that allows anybody to interact with you. If you have your content set up the right way, which in a second I'm going to describe what you've probably already seen in my videos and other creators' videos and why we do this, and it'll all start to make sense. But Instagram allows you to do things like comment this word and I will send you this thing for free. Okay, you've probably seen that. You probably are watching this video because I did this with you. So we make these videos, we get these people to interact with us by giving them stuff for free, just more value, helping these people out with the topic that they're already trying to learn from us. And then what that does, it opens up a conversation with us or a sales rep that works for us, basically an assistant or somebody that understands what you have to offer to these people that are following or viewing your videos. And from there, once we send them more free value, let's just say it's a tutorial like this video, or maybe a step-by-step guide or a PDF or an ebook, now the conversation is open. Now us or our sales rep, we have the ability to continue that conversation and see if you need extra help. And because you're attracting people that are already interested in the specific topic that you are talking about, once that conversation is opened, a high percentage of these people are looking for some sort of mentorship from somebody that is talking about, that knows and is an expert at what they're talking about, right? For example, I would say I'm very good at building these type of businesses with monetizing with Instagram Reels. So I have products that I can offer to these people if they need extra help. Obviously, we've already given away a lot of free information, but still, some people need more guidance. They might need more mentorship. They might need more help because they're very serious about becoming successful with this specific thing that you're talking about on your Instagram, okay? So we can start the conversation easily from our videos. We send them free value. We continue the conversation. And if they are willing to learn more, then we can book a meeting or a free consultation with them and show them how we can help them hit their goal specifically in this topic, okay? Now, this is where the money comes. We sell products, digital products, and I'm going to explain why we chose this specific type of product and why it makes it so accessible to anybody that is wanting to do this. Is one, we want to sell something at a high ticket price point because at a high ticket price point, you only need to sell one to make a substantial amount of income. Now, if you want to sell something that's a physical product at a $3,000 price point or higher, you're probably going to have to sell like a motorcycle or something like that. So you're going to need to have a lot of capital to invest in manufacturing that motorcycle, shipping that motorcycle. You're going to have less margin, etc. With a digital product, you can sell something for high ticket because it has a lot of value, and I can show you how we create that much value to make it worth paying that much. There's no shipping, it's instant delivery, and it's 100% profit margin because there's no cost to it, right? It's just information. So why $3,000? At a $3,000 price point, like I said, you only have to sell one unit per month and you're making $3,000 per month. 3 units and you're making $10,000 per month. If you sell a $20 product, which most creators think that that's the best way to monetize online, you need to sell to 500 people just to make 10 grand, right? 500 people is a lot. You need a lot of traffic, especially on average when you're selling a product at $20. on, let's just say, a website, only about 1% of those people or less actually buy. So you need a crazy amount of people visiting your website, which is very difficult to get. We don't want to rely on going viral or rely on having millions of followers just to make a average monthly income that you can probably get from a 9 to 5, right? Now, this is the icing in the cake, why we choose a high ticket product. So at a $3,000 price point or higher, we don't recommend selling anything below that. The reason why is because if you sell at that price point, it's still on average from what we've tested through thousands and thousands of units sold of this type of product, $3,000 price point usually has a very similar conversion rate, or higher actually, than a $20 product. And the reason why is because that allows us to pay a sales rep commission to sell that product and help that customer understand why they should actually buy it, okay? And on top of it, we can also offer payment plans and financing to these people, so it makes it a lot more affordable. So $3,000 can be split into 6 or 12 months, which makes it only a few $100s per month, which we can get paid upfront from the financing company. Okay, so it makes it very affordable for the customer, and it also gives us the advantage to have a sales rep that can help those people understand why they should buy from us, which increases the amount of people that will buy from you. And you can pay that sales rep at a 10% commission. If they sell one per day, they're making 10 grand a month themselves, okay? So that's why we don't do a low ticket product, and especially we want to not do a physical product, okay? Because as you can see, I'm just going to repeat this. At a physical product at $3,000, you're going to need to sell something as valuable as a motorcycle, and because it's physical, you have to deliver it, you need to have inventory, you need to have manufacturing, so your profit margin is way less, okay? Now, there's also service delivery, right? You can also provide a service. Maybe you want to do marketing for somebody. Maybe you want to help somebody. Maybe you want to be a personal shopper or a stylist, right? Those are services. At $3,000, you're going to have to deal with a lot of customers, and you have to do ongoing service delivery for these people. You can't scale this. You can't scale this past dozens of clients. It's impossible because you cannot scale your time, right? So this is out of the picture. Yes, you can still sell at a high price point for this, but it's not scalable. You don't want to do that, okay? What we want to do is we want to create a $3,000 mentorship community because it's scalable. More people that come into it, the more valuable it gets because the more people can learn from their peers. Have you ever seen a classroom in high school or even university that is less than 20 people? Actually, the more sophisticated your education gets, the further you get into university or even grad school, you'll see that lectures get to even hundreds, sometimes even thousands of people per classroom, right? And those people are getting real serious about learning and actually implementing this into their career, right? So the more people that join, the more success it actually brings. And on top of it, what this does, it allows people to become successful with what you have to teach. And when they're successful, we like to set up a franchising model. So when they're successful, we can still give them more services or more products down the line so that we can tap into their revenue or their success that they've already created. So if you're teaching people how to do a business model, once they're successful, maybe you can own the real estate that they build on, or provide them with a software, or provide them with services down the line. So you can create recurring revenue that's attached to their business, and it's very scalable. Very similar to McDonald's. If you're not teaching a business, if you're just teaching people how to become healthy, you can create an app that these people can use to keep up with your health programs, their transformations. Maybe you can sell a supplement to these people down the line once they actually are successful with your process, okay? So a $3,000 mentorship community, this is what we offer to our audience. Now, if we go back here, just so you can see how this works again, we post our videos, we get people to interact with us through the DMs. Us or a hired sales rep in the future begins and continues the conversation to get them onto a consultation, a free consultation, and then if they really want to work with us further, we offer them our $3,000 mentorship community, okay? Now, the minimum amount of views per day that you can get on Instagram, if you just listen to what we have in our process, is about 600 to 1,200 views per day. It's very easy for anybody to achieve, okay? That is 18,000 to 36,000 views per month. Out of that, there is no way you can at least have one person that's already been interested in what you have to talk about. You've just showed them that you have something for them to offer to help them hit their goal. There's no way that at least one person will buy from you. And if your goal is to hit at least $10,000 per month, which is already a higher income than 82% of America, 82% of Americans have never touched 10K per month in their life, right? Think about how much 10K per month would change your life. That's $120,000 per year. You only need to convert 3 out of this 18 to 30,000 people that are viewing what you have to talk about per month. Pretty achievable, right? And then you can step it up if you want to make real money from this, which is more than achievable for anybody that's watching this video. And I'm going to show you why in a second. If you don't believe this won't work for you, it works for anybody, and I'll show you why. 100K per month is just 30 sales per month, okay? That's just one per day at $3,000 price point. If you're getting thousands of views per day, one per day is a breeze. So how can you make this work for you? You're probably thinking at this point, okay, well, now I can probably see why this does work for people like you. Yes, you, Tony, you have 300,000 followers, you get so many views. You have a skill set that's valuable that people want to learn from. They want to learn how to build a business that can make them a millionaire, right? Or the people that you've worked with, they do that as well, or they might have a transformation or life experience that people see value in paying for to change their life. So how do we actually know how to put this together? And how do we know that we're worth over $3,000? And if we still can't find a way, which is very rare, and I'll show you in a second, we can still implement this system onto somebody else that has that life experience, that wants to talk about what their life experience is on Instagram. Okay, so no matter what, even if you still think you don't fit this criteria, you can still implement this on somebody else's personal brand and on their experience, and you can run the system on the back end for a profit percentage. Okay, you can split the profits with them, which that's what I've done for other creators. I've obviously done it for myself, so I can keep the majority of the profit. So no matter what, this will work for you, and there's not a single scenario that will prevent you from actually being able to do this yourself. Okay, so what we do, let's just say we want to do it for ourselves or we want to do it for somebody else. All we got to do is plug this prompt into ChatGPT. Okay, when you plug this into ChatGPT, ChatGPT is going to now interview you on your life experience. It's going to pull everything it needs to know from what you've already accumulated from your life experience and your side of your brain. It's going to take all that information and plug it and put it into an offer, a digital offer that I just showed you, which is a digital mentorship community that can get these people results from your life experience, and it's worth over $3,000. Okay, it's very easy. It also will create the entire product for you. It'll write out everything based off of what you tell it. It'll create it in a way that's very easy for the person to find success and understand. It'll generate everything for you, okay? That's how we're able to build these products instantly, pretty much out of thin air, just based off of your mind. And we now have a product that's worth more than a motorcycle, okay? This product is also very scalable, right? Like I said before, you can have as many people join as possible. If you look at a college, there are thousands and thousands of students, and sometimes there's hundreds, if not thousands of students per class, okay? And if we backtrack, at 10K per month, you only need 3 people to join per month. At 100K per month, you only need 30 people to join per month, okay? So this is more than achievable for anybody. I've been able to do this for myself. It's changed my life. It's changed a lot of other people's lives that I've taught this to. There's nothing preventing you from doing this system, right? You don't have to create $1 million per month. You don't have to make $300,000 or $600,000 per month. Even if you just do 10% of what these guys were able to do, 1,000 to 3,000 views per video, 3,000 followers, and they're able to produce 1.5 million in 3 months. Even if you're able to do just 10% of what they've been able to do, which is stupid easy, you will be able to generate a significant income that can change your life. Okay? I hope you understand now what is possible online. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram, or if you want to hop on a call or a consultation, I can show you more about this and how you can actually implement it on yourself. And now that we've done this quick tutorial for you to understand this system, make sure to go below this video in the description, copy this prompt, and then start interviewing yourself with ChatGPT so you can get started making money with this as soon as possible. Hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.